Hey, this is Mark and Sally from NileFM's morning show.
And this is our Game of Thrones recap.
Season 1. So, Robert is king and married to Cersei.
They mosey on down to Winterfell to see old buddy Ned.
Ned's a Stark and likes to remind everyone...
Winter is coming.
So King Robb goes to Ned and says, hey dude, I really need you to come back with me to King's Landing to help me out and stuff. And Ned's like, no, but I don't want to. It's just I've got so much to do here. And Robb's like, dude, come on, please. So Ned's like, yeah, okay, fine, I'll do it for like honor and stuff.
Meanwhile, Ned's son Bran, who loves to use his legs for climbing, walks in on Robb's wife Cersei and her brother Jaime, who are very close, etc, etc, etc. Jaime pushes Bran out of the window, no more climbing for Bran. Then there's Jon Snow.
Hello. Ned's illegitimate son, and he's off to begin his watch at this big freezing wall.
Tyrion's a dwarf, and he's there too.
Sansa, Ned's daughter, is off to marry the lovely Joffrey, and Arya gets a sword master, and a catchphrase.
There is only one thing we say to death.
On the other side, there's Daenerys, and Daenerys meets Aquaman with eyeliner, falls in love, gets pregnant, eats a heart, and gets some dragon eggs.
Her brother, however, gets...
Crown for king.
King Robert dies, killed by a boar. Ned finds out about Cersei and Jaime, etc, 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 and next thing you know, Ned's dead. Season 2. Ned's son Robb with 2 Bs is king of the North and declares war on the Lannisters. So does Renly Baratheon, so does Stannis Baratheon.
The one true king of Westeros.
Meanwhile, adopted son Theon was having some daddy issues and captured Winterfell and pretends to kill the Little Starks. Big mistake. Little Starks, by the way, are now traveling with...
Hold on.
Even you, sweet giant.
Hold on.
Newly widowed Stark Catelyn and new bestie Brienne meet up with Robb with 2 Bs who has Jaime Lannister in his possession. Catelyn lets him go back to King's Landing and Jaime loses a hand.
Speaking of hands, Lil Tyrion is now Hand of the King to the lovely Joffrey, also known as King Bieber. Stannis, the one true king, attacks King's Landing, but Tyrion messes him up with wildfire.
And gets a really cool scar. And where's Jon Snow? He's still being hot and cold at the wall, and he's met Ygritte, who's told him,
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Season 3, it's wedding season! And who doesn't love a wedding? Well, the people in Game of Thrones.
Tyrion is forced to marry Sansa, King Bieber is looking forward to marrying Margaery Tyrell, and Cersei is told to marry her brother, not her own brother, Margaery's brother, much to her disappointment.
And power-hungry Lord Littlefinger Baelish is trying to marry Sean Bean's sister-in-law, and Robb with 2 Bs and King of the North says la to Walder Frey's daughter. Not the smartest move.
Over in the Sunshine, Daenerys' name is getting longer, her dragons are getting bigger, more and more people are getting friend-zoned, and she's taking on a bunch of guys who don't have, well, let's just call them unsullied.
Speaking of which, Theon is with the delightful Ramsay, who changes Theon's name to Reek and picks up a knife and removes his etc, etc.
So Theon has lost the will to live, but Ramsay becomes a proper Bolton. Meanwhile, Ramsay's dad is off to a wedding, a red one where everybody dies. He kills Robb with 2 Bs, and Catelyn gets murdered too, and Arya turns up late and sees what's happened.
Now, I've been to some bad weddings, but...
And where's Jon Snow? Still at the wall and chilling with his wildling homies who try to kill him.
Season 4, another wedding! Yay! Joffrey's poisoned, Sansa escapes, Tyrion gets the blame, and he goes on trial and chooses...
I demand a trial by combat.
Hottie McHottie Pedro Pascal takes Tyrion's place and gets squished by the mountain. Goodbye, Hottie.
Anyway, locked up Tyrion gets let out by one-handed Jaime, but on his way out casually murders his bubba. Dany and her dragons find out Lord Friendzone Jorah is a spy, and they kick him out of the posse.
Sansa's hanging out with the weird aunt with the weirder son, who get thrown out of the moon door. And where's Jon Snow? Still freezing at the wall, battling wildings, still knowing nothing, but Ygritte dies.
Have we finished already? Season 5! Joffrey's bro Tommen is now king.
Who?
Marjorie is going to marry him now because she's not picky. Cersei gets locked up by the High Sparrow and... shame, shame, shame. Does her walk of shame.
Stannis, the one true king, becomes one dead king after a confrontation with Brienne. Arya's in training to become a faceless assassin and goes blind.
Dany's struggling and faces a mutiny, but is saved by, guess what? Her dragons. And we say hello to the Night King, who looks like one scary...
etc, etc, etc. And more mutiny as Jon Snow gets murdered. Season 6, Jon Snow's alive again. Yay!
Theon helps Sansa escape Ramsay at Winterfell and has an emotional reunion with the now undead Jon Snow.
Time for a fight. It's the battle of the...
etc, etc, etc. Little Stark Rickon...
Who's he again?
...only knows how to run in a straight line, which means one dead Rickon.
Jon wins the battle, and we all cheer as Sansa feeds Ramsay to his old pooches. Aww. Cute!
This show loves the trial, and this time it's Cersei's turn, but she loves killing people more and kills half the cast off with wildfire.
And Tommen, well, he doesn't take this well. Just like Jon's not dead anymore, Arya's not blind anymore, and now she likes killing people too, and she has a list.
Oh, and she can borrow other people's faces too, as you do. She kills Walder Frey's sons, pops them in a pie, and feeds them to him.
Oh, and we almost forgot about the remaining little Stark, Bran. He still can't walk, but now he's the three-eyed raven, whatever that is. It seems to mean he knows everything, unlike Jon Snow,
who still knows nothing. Sadly, Hodor's days of holding the door are no more, and he's dead.
Season 7. Almost there. Tyrion is hand to Dany. Jon Snow comes over for a visit, but refuses to bend the knee.
This is Jon Snow.
Get a room, you guys.
Which they do later. Ew!
Why is that you?
Grandma Tyrell, literally the best character in the show, dies, but not before telling Jaime that she'd murdered Joffrey, his nephew and son.
If you're confused right now, this is probably not the show for you. OMG, all the actors meet for the first time, and it's not even at Comic-Con.
Jon and Dany ask Cersei for an alliance to go up against the white people.
Hey!
Not you, Mark. And show her one of the undead.
She's not impressed. She doesn't agree. Tyrion talks around. She does agree. Then reveals she doesn't agree and was lying all along.
Cersei's brother and close confidant Jaime, etc., etc., finally realizes she cray-cray and runs off to the other crew. Meanwhile, Littlefinger Baelish thinks he's getting the better of the Stark girls. Ha! He wasn't, he didn't, and they kill him.
And winter has come.
P.S. Jon Snow is really Aegon Targaryen, and Dany's his aunt. Ew!
I still don't understand. That was NileFM's Game of Thrones recap.
Thanks for watching!